Good morning students, welcome back. Now again, we'll be discussing about the testing techniques in this lecture, but we'll start with the second category, that is white box testing techniques, right? So in the white box testing technique, we have seen that we have a number of methods like basic path testing, graph matrices, loop testing, data flow testing and mutation testing. So today we are going to discuss about basic path testing. So coming up to the basics, first of all, what is a white box testing? White box testing is like to check the structural, it is also called as structural testing, where we used to check the structure of the code, that is syntax and semantic errors, right? It is also known as glass box testing because the system is considered to be as transparent. We are able to look into the system and identify the faults and the flaws in the system. It is a type of dynamic testing, right? And the testing is also called as structural or development testing. Quickly summarizing it. Now, what are the methods that are being used to design the test cases using this white box approach? The first method is basic path testing. Now, in order to consider basic path testing, few relevant concepts are, first of all, we must know the coverage. The first one is a statement coverage. We design the test case according to this. We design test case according to branch coverage, condition coverage, and then comes the path coverage or the basic path testing, which includes one method, that is Mackay-based cyclomatic complexity. So what do you mean by a statement coverage? Statement coverage says that if you want to identify error in any statement, then the mandatory condition is each and every statement must be executed at least once. Until unless you execute that statement, we can never identify error in that statement, right? So the main aim is, unless a statement is executed, it is very hard to determine if the error exists in that statement. Failure of statement could be caused due to illegal memory access, wrong result computations, etc. However, executing some statement once and observing that it behaves properly for that input value is no guarantee that it will behave correctly for all the input values. So we need to check for each. Now take an example for this. We have a simple, you can say, algorithm taken here for Euclid's GCD computation, that is greatest common divisor. And we just taken the logical part. So the logical part says simply you'll have x and y, two variables. Now we check the condition while x is not equal to y. Then if x is greater then y, then x is calculated as x minus y, else y is y minus x. Return x and then close. This is a simple computation. Now in this case, what will be the test set or the test case design? One case for this while will be it is not equal to y or equal to y. Okay? So we have taken x as 3 and y as 3. So what will happen in this case? We have taken this to be as equal. If it is equal, simply it is going to return the value of x. So this statement gets executed. While if you take x as 4 and y as 3, that means x is greater. That is not equal values, so you need to check which one is greater. So it will be calculated as x equals to x minus y. The value of x will be 1. While in the third test case, x is 3 and y is 4. So in this case, y is calculated as y minus x. That means again it will be 1. So we can exercise this program such that all the statements are executed at least once. The basic aim was we have to design the test case in such a way that each and every statement is getting executed. Say for example, if I have taken this last test case and there was an error in the statement y equals to y plus x. Now since I am not taking any of the input value which is going to check this statement, y is never greater and there is an error, I will never be able to identify the error in this statement. Right? So this is what statement coverage says. Then the second method is branch coverage. In a branch coverage, what happens is for every branch condition, like if it is if, do, while, so true and false values are assigned. So in branch coverage, we have to assume true and false value for each of the branch condition, right? So it is also called as edge testing, as in this testing scheme, one edge of a program control flow graph is traversed at least once. Now for the same example, we'll see how according to branch coverage, the test cases will be designed. So here the number of test cases will be better or greater than the statement coverage because we have to assign true and false value. So if it is a while statement, true value will be not equal, while else will be equal. So for while we'll take two test cases. Valid case, that is if x and y are equal, and one for invalid, x and y are not equal, right? So two test cases for while and two test cases for if and else. So if x is greater, one time you will take x as greater, another time you will take y as greater. So we'll have the first test case as x3 and y3 for while loop, and then not equal one, x is 3 and y is 2. Then for if else, one time you have taken x as greater, another time you have taken y as greater. So you have assigned true and false value to each one of them. So since number of test cases here is more as compared to the statement coverage, this will be a stronger strategy than the previous one. The third method is condition coverage. Condition coverage says when you have a composite conditional statement like C1 and C2 or C3, right? So in this case, we have to apply true and false value to each component as well as the combinations of this. Like operators are there, C1 and C2, you'll assign true and false. Or operator is there, true and false for this. Then individual expression, right? C1 will be composite expression. So again, true and false value for that. So ultimately, since C1, C2, C3, we have taken components here. If this increases, the number of test cases increases exponentially because number of test cases is calculated as 2 raised to the power n. So if the component increases, number of test cases will exponentially increase. So practically this method is not used because practically in any of the problem we'll have more number of components. This is just a simple example where we have taken 3 components only. Next method, path coverage, which is important. The path coverage based testing strategy requires us to design test cases such that all linear independent paths in a program are executed at least once. Statement coverage says each statement must be executed once, right? Branch coverage says each branch must be executed once. Condition coverage says each condition must be executed at least once. Path coverage says each linear independent path must be executed once, not the path. Path can be infinite. So practically then it will become impossible if we take path. Specific term is linear independent path. So what do you mean by a linear independent path? Linear independent path can be defined as a path where at least one new node or edge is introduced in the control flow graph. Right? Where to identify this? We make a control flow graph. In control flow graph, we identify linear independent path. A linear independent path is a path where we have at least one new node or an edge introduced in that path. Right? Now, what is this control flow graph? It's simply a graph where the control switches from one node to another until unless the destination is reached. Let's take with the help of an example. We'll see from here. Taking the same example for computing the GCD, greatest common divisor, and we have this code here, logic part. The first step is you have to number the statements. Whatever statement is there in the logical part, you just number them. Second step is corresponding to these numbers, or simply since we have 6 statement here, we'll have 6 nodes in our control flow graph. Simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you have to make the connection. So you have to check where the control is moving. In the first statement, that is while, if x is not equal to y, control is moving to statement number 2. Else it is moving to 6th statement directly. You have to return x. Once you're at second statement, then you check if x is greater. If it is greater, third statement will be executed. Else fourth statement will be executed, and finally this while will continue. Okay, so there is a mistake in this backward looping here. This backward loop will not be from 3, it will be from 5 to 1. This is what while represents here. So this is how you make a control flow graph where we have nodes and edges made according to the control that is flowing in your program. Now what is a path? Understand with this. A path is that route from which you can reach the destination node from the source node. It can be 1 to 6 directly, it can be 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 1 and 6, 1, 2, 4, 5, right? So a number of paths are possible because infinite path. Why? Maybe this 1 and 6, the condition, while condition is never satisfied, so this keeps on repeating. Maybe 2 times, maybe 10 times, maybe 100 times, maybe 1000 times. It keeps on like a cyclic order will be made, a number of paths could be identified. So there is a problem with this. If number of paths are infinite, so the number of test cases required to be designed is infinite. That is practically impossible. That is why I said we consider linear independent path. So linear independent path introduces at least one new edge or a node in the path. So path coverage testing does not require coverage of all the path, but only coverage of linear independent path. Right? Now, if I am supposed to tell the number of linear independent path in a control flow graph, it will be very difficult because hit and trial I'll try to identify maybe 1, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 15, maybe 100. So everyone, if 2 or 4 people are making this you can say prediction, according to them it may vary. One might identify lesser number, one might identify the greater number. So we have a method that is Mackay-based cyclomatic complexity, which tells us the upper bound of total number of linear independent paths that will be present in a program. That means maximum number. Says this method says in this particular control flow graph we have 10 linear independent paths. So by hit and trial we can identify what will be those 10. But if you are not aware that 10 honge, in that case you will keep on searching, hit and trial. Someone will identify 3, someone will identify 4. So it may vary. So that won't be exact. And if it is not exact, ultimately test cases will not be properly designed and some of the other flaw or error will be left out in your system. So this method is basically used to tell that maximum number or your total number of linear independent path present in your system, and then you can try it. Now according to this Mackay-based cyclomatic complexity, how it is calculated, we have 3 methods for that. The first method says is Mackay-based cyclomatic complexity is represented with Vg. It's calculated as E minus n plus 2. E is the number of edges, n is the number of nodes. So from the control flow graph, directly you will tell how many edges are there. You will count from here how many nodes are there, 6, and you will put it in this example and you will get the answer as we have edges as 7, nodes as 6. So it will be 7 minus 6 plus 2, that is 3. So the total linear independent path present in this system will be 3. Right? What will be 3? Where you have one new node or one new edge introduced. So the first path will be directly 1 to 6. This is one linear independent path. Second linear independent path will be 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. So 3 is the new node introduced here. And 1, 2, 4, 5, 1 and 6. 4 is the new node introduced here. So ultimately 3 linear independent path will be there. Now we have another methods also. The second method says Vg is calculated as total number of bounded area plus 1. So total number of bounded means closed loop. One of the closed loop is this, another closed loop is this. So total we have 2 bounded areas or closed loops. It actually can be identified from the code itself. One is a while one, another one is an if else, right? So bounded area plus 1, that is 2 plus 1 is 3. While the third method says number of decision statement plus 1, n is the number of decision statement. So we have while statement, another one is your if and else, right? So 2 plus 1, 3. So all the 3 methods will give you the same answer. So once you know the total number of linear independent path, now you can identify it and accordingly you can design the test cases. So the guidelines for basic path testing is, first of all, you are supposed to draw the control flow graph. From that control flow graph, you will determine the cyclomatic complexity, that is Vg. Once you have identified this, then determine the basis of set of linear independent path. That means identify all those set of linear independent path. Now for each individual linear independent path, design the test cases, right? So these are the guidelines. Now what is the application of path testing actually? It helps for thorough testing. Right? More and more of coverage is there. Statement, branch, condition, path. We are covering maximum possible parameters here. The testing will be better. It helps in unit testing, integration testing, maintenance testing. The testing effort is proportional to the complexity. What is that cyclomatic complexity? If the value is 4. So what does it determine? How complex it is, how much effort is required to test this particular code. Right? So ultimately testing effort is directly proportional to the complexity. If complexity is more, effort required is more. If complexity is less, that means it is simple, the testing effort will be less. Basic part testing effort is concentrated on error prone softwares. So basically maximum effort is focused on the error prone, that means where errors are more in a particular code, the logical part, where we consider it more to identify errors. Right? This is all for today. Thank you.